When people hear the phrase financial freedom, most immediately think of being rich, retiring early, or never having to work again. But the truth is that financial freedom is not just about money in the bank, it's about the way you live your life every single day, the choices you get to make without fear, and the peace of mind that comes when you know you are in control of your financial destiny. And in this video, here on Smart Dollar Mindset, where our mission is to help you achieve financial freedom through smart money habits and investing, we're going to break down exactly what true financial freedom feels like, how to reach it step by step, and what life looks like when money becomes a tool rather than a constant source of stress. Step 1. Understanding what financial freedom really means. True financial freedom does not mean you never think about money, but it does mean you never worry about money in the same way, because instead of lying awake at night wondering how to pay the bills, you lie awake excited about the opportunities your money can create for you, your family, and your future. It's about options, like being able to walk away from a toxic job without fear, or choosing to take a lower paying but more meaningful career path, because your financial foundation supports that choice. A powerful example comes from people who pay off all their debts except their mortgage. Suddenly, every paycheck they bring home is theirs to allocate, and the difference in stress level is night and day. Imagine the relief of not sending hundreds of dollars a month to credit card companies. That moment is often the first taste of freedom, and it feels like breaking invisible chains you didn't even realize were so heavy. Step 2. Building the foundation through budgeting and discipline. The journey toward that feeling always starts with intentional budgeting, because budgeting is not about restriction, it is about directing your money with precision so that it works for you instead of disappearing into the unknown. For example, if you earn $5,000 a month and you know exactly how much goes into your emergency fund, your retirement accounts, your investment accounts, your bills, and still leaves you guilt-free money to spend, you suddenly realize that your paycheck is no longer slipping through your fingers, it is being deployed like a well-trained army building your future. Financial discipline transforms freedom into a reality, because when you practice saying no to impulse purchases, you're really saying yes to the bigger vision you've set for yourself. Over time, this builds confidence. Each month you hit your savings and investing targets, you prove to yourself that financial freedom is not just a dream, it's a habit you live out consistently. Step 3. Eliminating debt and the psychological shift it creates. Debt is the greatest barrier to true financial freedom, because it keeps you chained to lenders and forces you to make decisions from a position of weakness rather than strength. The moment you pay off your high-interest debts, you feel a dramatic mental shift. Suddenly, instead of working to survive, you're working to thrive. Consider a young couple making $60,000 a year combined who managed to pay off $40,000 in student loans in 4 years by living below their means and dedicating half their income to debt payments. At the end of that journey, the sense of relief they described was greater than any material purchase. They said it felt like their entire life had just been given back to them, because every dollar they earned from that moment forward was theirs. That's what freedom feels like. It feels like ownership of your time, energy, and money. Step 4. Growing wealth and watching compounding work. Once you've escaped debt and stabilized your financial life with an emergency fund, the next step toward financial freedom is investing. True freedom is not just about what you avoid, it's about what you build. When you watch compounding take hold, it feels almost magical. At first, your investments grow slowly, and it can feel frustrating. But then, after several years, you realize your money is working harder than you are, generating dividends, interest, and capital gains, and you feel the momentum building towards something unstoppable. Imagine investing $1,000 a month from your 20s into a broad index fund. At first, you see a couple $1,000s in growth and it feels small, but by the time a decade passes, you're looking at six-figure balances, and suddenly, you understand that financial freedom is not about overnight success but about quiet, steady progress that explodes over time. That moment, when you realize your investments are creating income while you sleep, is the exact moment most people finally say, "I feel free." Step 5. Lifestyle transformation when money becomes a tool. One of the most profound shifts that financial freedom creates is in your lifestyle, because you no longer feel the need to keep up with others, you're not defined by what you own, and you don't buy things to impress people, you buy things to enhance your life. Freedom feels like booking a vacation and paying cash without guilt. It feels like taking your kids to the park on a weekday afternoon because you control your schedule. It feels like being generous without hesitation, donating to causes you care about, or helping a family member in need, and realizing you don't even flinch because the money is there. True freedom isn't flashy, it's quiet confidence. It's walking into a store knowing you could buy what you want but choosing not to because your bigger goals matter more. It's being able to weather an unexpected job loss or medical expense without panic, because you've built resilience into your financial plan. Step 6. Real-life case studies of freedom in action. Think about the family that lived frugally, invested steadily, and reached financial independence in their 40s. They didn't retire in the traditional sense, but they transitioned into passion projects, part-time consulting, and travel. They said financial freedom felt like the difference between rowing a boat against the current and finally raising a sail to let the wind carry you forward. Or take the single mom who built her own small online business while investing consistently. At first, she was overwhelmed, but within 10 years she had a 6-figure portfolio and income streams outside of her 9-to-5. She said the freedom she felt wasn't about money, it was about looking at her children and knowing she could provide stability and opportunity without fear of losing everything. These real-world examples prove that financial freedom is not just a theory, it's something ordinary people achieve by making extraordinary decisions over time. Step 7. The emotional and mental side of financial freedom. Financial freedom also changes your mental and emotional well-being. Anxiety levels drop dramatically when you no longer live paycheck to paycheck. Stress about emergencies disappears when you know your emergency fund has you covered. Confidence grows when you see your investments thriving. Many people describe the feeling as lightness, like a heavy backpack they've been carrying for years is suddenly gone. There's also a deep sense of empowerment. Money is no longer a source of fear or frustration, it's a source of opportunity. You feel secure in your ability to say yes to the things that matter and no to the things that don't. That shift is priceless. Step 8. The responsibility of freedom. With freedom comes responsibility. When you reach a point where you no longer need to worry about bills or survival, you gain the power to influence others, your family, your community, and future generations. The responsibility is to use that freedom wisely, to avoid complacency, and to keep growing in knowledge, generosity, and purpose. Financial freedom gives you the ability to create a legacy, not just for your children, but for anyone you choose to impact. Whether that's mentoring others, giving to causes you believe in, or building businesses that employ people, freedom allows you to expand your influence far beyond your own life. Final thoughts. When you finally achieve true financial freedom, it feels like waking up without a weight on your shoulders. It feels like breathing easier, sleeping better, and living more intentionally. It feels like the absence of fear and the presence of choice. You no longer live for payday, you live for your purpose. You no longer chase status, you chase meaning. And perhaps the most powerful part is that freedom is not an endpoint, it's a journey that keeps unfolding. Every time you hit a new milestone, paying off debt, reaching your first $100,000 invested, watching dividends cover your monthly bills, you experience new layers of freedom. The further you go, the more expansive it feels. So if you're just starting, don't get discouraged by how far you have to go. Instead, focus on the steps you can take today, because every small decision, every dollar saved, every investment made, every debt payment crushed, is a brick in the foundation of your freedom. And when you finally arrive at that place where money no longer controls you, you'll look back and realize the journey was worth every sacrifice. Here at Smart Dollar Mindset, our mission is to guide you through that journey, to equip you with strategies, motivation, and clarity, so that you can not only build wealth but also experience the deep, life-changing feeling of financial freedom. Because at the end of the day, that's what money is for, not to impress others, but to give you the life you truly want to live.